I promise no lenses were harmed in making this video, but we will get to the weather sealing of it in just a bit. How is it going, guys? So nice to see you again. Tom0x here, and I'm back with yet another newly released lens, this time from Viltrox. It is the all-new 13mm F1.4. Right out of the bat, I can tell you it is a wide-angle autofocus APS-C prime lens. It currently comes in 3 mounts, the X mount for Fuji, L mount, and here I have the E mount for Sony. And later in the video I will use Sigma 16mm as a comparison lens, and I used my Sony A6000 to capture photo and video examples, as well as my Sony A6400 to show the autofocus performance for you, my friends. Overall, this lens is quite big compared to other Viltrox APS-C lenses like this 23mm F1.4 as well as this 56mm F1.4. It is also on the heavy side, being 420 grams, which is roughly as much as this newly released I don't know how to speak, full frame Sigma 16 to 28mm f2.8 zoom lens that I just reviewed. Check it out in case you missed it. I believe this Viltrox lens is so heavy because of the aperture, the focal length, and also the build quality is very solid. It's fully metallic and, you know, including also the lens hood and everything. And the front element is also quite large for APS-C. It's actually 67mm in case you want to use the ND filter. And on the lens itself, you do not have any buttons, no autofocus, manual focus switches, but the focus ring is really pleasant. But the one feature that I really love about the Viltrox lens is that it has declicked aperture ring and it turns really smoothly, and I love it because you can use it in a video without any problems, which is really cool. Inside the lens you will find an STM focusing motor that supports eye and face detection, and I must say it works pretty well. I did some tests in photo mode and the lens was able to keep up with the movement pretty well. It had no problems focusing from near objects to far objects, and I did not notice focus hunting or anything sort of that. In the video mode, also very decent focus from far to close happened very quickly, so no problem here either. The thing this lens lacks, it does not have an optical static stabilization, but it is a very rare thing to find in prime lenses. And this lens also is not weather sealed, so do not shoot in challenging environments, just like I did in the beginning of the video. So the 13mm on the crop gives you 20mm focal length on the full frame, which is not the widest the lenses can go without being distorted, but it is still considered an ultra wide angle lens that gives you a really wide. It gives you really wide field of view. So where can you use such a lens? Well, I see a couple of examples. First is cityscapes, landscapes, and great outdoors, but I would say specifically night photography is a really good example. Since the aperture is so wide, you need a lot of light to capture the stars. Second, narrow streets, architecture, or even interior shots. Again, since the lens has a wide aperture f1.4, it will give plenty of light to shoot indoors. And third, videos, especially establishing shots for nature, landscape, and interior. And also, since it's so wide, it can perfectly also be used for vlogging. I would not use this lens for portraits, especially close-up portraits, since the model's face will be distorted a bit too much for my taste, but you can shoot objects up close easily, just not faces. But is the picture and video quality any good, even given that this is not the most expensive lens in the market? Well, I took my sharpest wide-angle APS-C lens as a benchmark, Sigma 16mm f1.4, and I can tell you that Viltrox surprised me quite a bit. First, the positives. I did not find any fringing or chromatic aberration in any of the shots, even when really zooming into all the edges and leaves. Another cool thing about the lens is that it actually produces a very nice bokeh. Yes, you need to be very close to the subject and shoot as wide as possible in order to create a nice bokeh, but even at f2.8 there is a bokeh if the object is close to the lens. Besides, I was even able to produce some foreground bokeh, but I don't recommend doing it with such a wide lens since, you know, it's nearly impossible to make a proper composition. On the negative sides, of course, there is some vignetting when shooting at f1.4, and since I have a pre-production lens, I don't yet have the lens correction profile for Lightroom, but I'm sure once the lens will be officially out, there will be lens profile and it will take care of all the imperfections. Regarding the sharpness, well, first of all, it's hard to beat the Sigma 16mm F1.4, as that's the sharpest APS-C lens I personally own. The center of this lens is alright, suit for yourself. I wouldn't say it's mind-blowing or on par with Sigma, but I will say it's alright if you don't pixel peep like crazy. The corners are much softer, you can shoot at lower apertures like f4, things will improve a tiny bit, but it still won't be tack sharp like the Sigma 16mm lens. Regarding the video quality, here are a few clips from Sony A6000. It's shot at 1080p and upscaled to 4K to match the rest of the video. I also applied warp stabilizer in Premiere Pro, since this is how the footage looks like without being stabilized. Quite horrible, right? So that's why putting it on a gimbal probably would be the best. All in all, I can say the quality is very good. I like the look of the shots this lens produces. Also, close focus distance makes the objects stand out while having the background blurry. I'm pleasantly surprised overall about the video quality. If I would record this video 2 weeks ago, I would say there are not too many great quality wide-angle autofocus lenses, but Sony just released 3 new wide-angle lenses for the APS-C, and 2 of them are primes, which are particularly interesting. The Sony 11mm F1.4 and Sony 15mm F1.4G. I see them as direct competitors to this Viltrox lens, just like the Sigma 16mm F1.4. Price-wise, Sigma is the cheapest one currently on sale. It's way under $400. Viltrox will cost approximately $430, but Sony 11mm is $550 and Sony 15mm is the most expensive, coming at $750. But quickly comparing Sigma and Viltrox, if that's what you are down to due to the budget, then I can say that Sigma is not as wide as Viltrox, and if you are flexible on the focal length, I think Sigma is an excellent choice. It is cheaper than this Viltrox lens, it is sharper, and arguably it has a better build quality since it's made in Japan, and Sigma gives you 5-year warranty, while Viltrox gives 1 to 2 years depending on the country. Viltrox build quality is also good. It is metallic, making it more sturdy, but Sigma is made out of composite, making it lighter. Viltrox has the aperture ring, but Sigma does not have. Both lenses are great and a bit different in a way, and ultimately only you will know which fits better for you. So I'm really curious to know, what do you think about this new Viltrox 13mm F1.4 lens? Check the current price of this lens from the link in the description, drop a comment down below, even just to say hi, and of course I will say hi right back at you. Tom Sirex is always here, subscribe for more content like this. I'll see you in the next video soon, and don't forget to keep on creating.